All right, it is December 31st, 2019. Today is New Year's Eve, and it's just a few hours before 2020, and we are going to do a recap of some of our highlights in 2019. So thank you for watching. My name is Divon, and this is beautiful.
My name is Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Yes.
At Spot on Spirit.
Spot on
And
Spirit.
at John Divon. And Tiffany also has a YouTube channel, so if you just search Spot on Spirit, make sure to subscribe to Tiffany's channel and make sure to subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching. What we're doing is we're going back through my Instagram. I post a lot on Instagram, and so it's in a way like a journal. So we're going back
A
to
lot of candles lit.
January, and we're gonna just speak about the highlights of the 12 months and recap some of our most memorable and maybe not so memorable moments in 2019 as we move into 2020, and it's the end of a decade and we're about to start the beginning of a new decade. So a year ago, I've been working security for over a year now here in Colorado. We live in the Denver, Colorado area. And a year ago, I was working at a grocery market called King Soopers on New Year's Eve. And I remember Tiffany came to King Soopers and she made sure she got there before midnight so we could do the smoochie.
Oh yeah, I picked you up from work.
Yeah.
You walked and it was cold.
She picked me up and we did a New Year's kiss on New Year's when it became 2019.
Right in the grocery store, right?
Right in the grocery store. So we smooched at King Soopers. I was in my security guard outfit. I got Tiffany some flowers. And we started off our 2019 the right way. And we're starting off our 2020 the right way. We're at home. I'm currently 38 years old. Tiffany is, I'm not sure if I should be saying her age, but I'm 38 in 2019. And Tiffany is a bit younger than me. Not too much, but she is younger. And
21.
yeah, she's 21 years old. She can drink alcohol, but we're not out partying or drinking alcohol. But we do have a delicious cheese platter and a fruit platter, and we made ourselves a nice little setup for our recap in 2019. So yeah, I was working King Soopers, and she came there, and then 11 days later, her birthday is January 11th, so we celebrated her birthday in January. All right, so what sticks out in January of 2019, Tiffany?
I would say, starting with January, New Year's Eve was celebrated with my brother. We played games and it was really fun, and it's cool to find other people that don't drink, that don't have to drink on New Year's, and it was right down the road, so it was cold, but we didn't really have to do anything too crazy to go downtown or whatever. And we had a really good time. And then you were working, came and picked you up, got some flowers, that was really nice. And then celebrated a nice New Year's. And
we played, do you remember what we played? That's what stands out to me.
Yeah, what was that game that we played?
It was a game that was
fun.
something along the line of memes. We would see an image and we had to, it was whatever was the best meme that went with that image. And I had never played that game. Have you ever played that game before?
No.
Okay, let's do a little, let's cheers it up.
Cheers.
Boom.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, we played a game at the edit club. Okay.
Yeah, so that was really fun and really spontaneous, which was cool. We were just gonna settle into a nice, quiet evening, and then we got a spontaneous invite, and we were down.
So we started off our New Year's right.
Yeah, and we stayed up late and drank coffee. It was real cozy. It's nice.
And you love your brother very much. One of your favorite people in the world for sure.
It's true. He's like, I love my brother so much. Yeah, and then what sticks out to me is the Cat Cafe for my birthday. My birthday is January 11th, so a lot of times it's easy to kind of set the new year with my birthday.
Absolutely.
With a new age and doing intention setting and stuff like that.
Okay, so what do you remember from the Cat Cafe?
I remember I was doing some detoxing in 2018, so really wanted like just quality friendships, and that was my whole vision board. Just really good energy, and we ended up going to brunch with some good friends, my brother and a couple of my best friends and our good friends, and we went
Rob and Amber.
Yeah, we went to eat at Cozy.
David and Mary.
Yep, Cozy Cottage. Brunching is one of my favorite things. I love going to eat at
Where they have the
brunch.
coffee mugs and they pick out a particular coffee mug for you. There's no two similar coffee mugs. That's one of the nice things about eating at that place.
They do. They pick out and they kind of just like pick one out that looks like they think would be, it's very intuitive, and so I love that aspect of it.
And we both made vision boards at the beginning of the year, and that was inspired by you, and that was pretty fun to have on our wall throughout all of 2019.
Yeah, we had fun with that, and we put it in a place in our hallway where we look, our eyes go there. What I would say, I looked at my vision board more this year, just having it up like that. So
nice.
Yeah. Yeah, Cat Cafe was awesome. Vision board's great.
We went to the Cat Cafe right after we had the birthday brunch with friends and family. And the Cat Cafe is a place where they have cats. They have dozens of cats inside, and you can go in and you can get a coffee and get a snack, and you can go play with the cats. And there was something
Rescue
that
cats.
we...
And you could take them home if you want.
You can adopt a cat.
Adopt them.
There was something that we didn't expect when we went there. And what was that?
Oh, so we thought, like, we have such great energy. We thought that we would go in and they would be, like, starved for affection. And we know that they're cats, but we just thought that they would be, like, all over us. They were not.
Yeah, they had toys, and they even had toys, and we were trying to play with them.
There were a lot of people there. A lot of people were playing with them, and they were there were a few people that were going up to them kind of abrasively, trying to make them play, and John and I are more like, hey, we're going to sit back and let them come to us, but not as, I mean, they would kind of come around, but they wouldn't really come to us.
These were definitely not needy cats. These cats had plenty of play friends. Plenty of people to...
places to hang out.
Be a companion with.
Yeah. It's a neat place. What they do there is pretty cool. My favorite cat was, I think her name was Abigail. And she was black, and she had a big flower, like a big pink flower. I wanted to take her home. And my friend had a little girl there. She was 2, I believe, or almost 2. And she loved the kitties. She was a kitty at home, so that was a lot of fun. And one of my other best friends, she is a total cat lady, like classifies as the crazy cat lady. So that was really cool. And at the time we were thinking maybe a dog in the future. We didn't really know. we flirted with the idea of a cat, but we didn't know we wanted a cat.
We were successful with our lemon tree
A plant.
in 2018, and we
Yeah.
thought that 2019 might be a good year to add a cat or a dog to our home. So
Oh yeah, cute.
that was nice area where we celebrated Tiffany's birthday, and we've been back there a couple times. Her mom used to live in that area, so it was a nice recap for us. What was the name of that area? Do you remember?
Well, where we were was kind of like North Denver.
Okay, North
Yeah.
Denver. We had a fun North Face outing. We went to the Castle Rock outlets. Tiffany got me a North Face gift card for my birthday. No, for Christmas. And then it was her birthday, and I wanted to treat her to something from North Face also. And I went to the mall near Tiffany's work, and they recommend going to the outlets, and we had a great outing at the North Face outlets in Castle Rock. Do you remember that?
That was a really nice day. It's nice here in Colorado in the middle of winter when you get a sunny day and you get out before it gets dark and cold at night. So I remember that day being like super sunny, reflective off the, like, maybe it had snowed, but it was just like nice and a little bit warmer sunshine wise, and we were walking around outside, and we went in and got our new North Face jackets.
My first North Face jacket I've ever owned.
And it was really nice. We wanted bright colors because, you know, it helps in the winter to wear bright colors.
Right.
And we put them on right away, and we went and got some coffee. Had a nice date.
And we got some
date.
gloves too. And I posted that video on Periscope, and then it went to YouTube. So there's a YouTube of that video as well.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
That's a good moment in January for sure. All right, so what happened January, February that was definitely a highlight in 2019?
You know, it definitely was February because I remember the ad. So John and I were at the point where we wanted to, I don't know how it came up.
All right, tell the story of what I was looking for.
So John was pretty much like, I was like, I want a dog. He's like, not quite. We know what kind of dog we want, but...
Because we're in an apartment right now.
Yeah, but we're in a very dog-friendly apartment.
We are in a dog-friendly apartment.
There's a path, a walking path, and a dog park and all kinds of stuff. A lot of our neighbors have dogs, but we weren't really quite there yet. We know exactly what kind of dog we want, but, you know, so I was doing some research there. And then at one point I said, we could get a cat. And you were like, yeah, I thought about that. I remember you saying, yeah, I thought about that. And then I was like, you did? Really? And so then I have like some allergies to cats. So it has to be a particular kind of cat. And John was kind of set on a girl cat originally because he grew up with girl cats. And then you were like, all right, if you can find, I want a nice cat. I want like a sweet cat, and cats aren't really sweet. Like I want an affectionate, nice cat, and I want it to be like beautiful. That was the other thing. From the cat cafe, I started sending John all these Dumb Friends League here in Denver. I started sending you all the dogs and the cats with like missing ears and eyes and like.
And your friend Amber almost gave us a cat too.
Yeah.
And then you sent me specifics on
a
type of breed.
Yeah, well, I grew up with a ragdoll cat, and he said I want them to be pretty, like basically like I wanted a beautiful cat, and not to have like any kind of, I can't remember what you said exactly, but
well,
you said you wanted blue or green eyes, and this breed in particular has blue or green eyes usually, and they're very pretty. So I had just started doing some research around town and found a breeder that breeds ragdoll cats, and they are very affectionate and sweet. I mean, they're just a really, really sweet breed of cats. So
You sent me something where it explained the cat having many characteristics of that of a dog.
yeah.
And I thought, whoa.
I think I was sending you YouTube videos left and right.
I'm getting
running.
a cat who's kind of like a dog. It seemed like the best of both worlds. And we went and we looked. You showed me an ad on Craigslist for Rio's Ragdolls.
I would like to say one other thing.
All right.
You were on the fence about the cat thing, and then I also sent you were like, well, it'd be good if you knew like all the pros and cons and everything that you would need. You were like, I want the breakdown, I want like how much it costs, I want to know what like shots and all those things. So I did like, I mean, tons of YouTubing and all kinds of stuff.
That's true.
And
I wanted to see how
This would be a
serious
whole-
you were
This was a
about
whole,
getting a cat.
This is
and-
a whole separate
yeah.
video, but I mean, I broke it down for him. Like, I had it just pro list, con list, like nicely written, blah, blah, blah. And I sent it to him, and he was like, whoa, okay.
That is true. You did make the pros and cons list. My friend Phil sent me a very long, detailed message of all of the negative things about being a cat owner.
Which works really well for me because John's a Libra. So if you go too far on the negative scale, he'll want to flip. So it was perfect timing because Phil came in with his humanitarian, if you're going to take care of a cat, you need to know how to do it.
And
But
also all of the
Aquarius.
expenses.
Yeah, the expenses.
Cat's expensive. You
all
gotta
that
pay
down.
for this. You gotta pay for this. You gotta pay for this. Pay for the cat. You have to pay for the cat in your apartment. You have to pay for the vet. You have to buy all of these things for the cat. And it's nice to have a friend like that.
And it's true.
Because
it
he's
is
being
a
realistic.
commitment. It was definitely realistic.
He's being very realistic.
It was kind of like having a little baby at first. Like,
So that was on the cons.
I know it's a lot
For
different.
the pros and cons.
Yeah.
So we thought, heck, let's go take a look and check out these kittens. And how did that go? In about, what was it, like February? It was either late January or early February of 2019.
I knew it was February because the ad said they were born December 3rd, and I was thinking like, oh, okay, we went to Glenwood Springs for Christmas, so then I don't know, I was just thinking about that, and then I remember the ad said they'll be ready to take home just in time for Valentine's Day, so it must have been sometime late January, early February.
Okay. So how did that go?
Well, we went into their house and there were all these little fur balls everywhere. And they were so cute, and we knew that there were 2 boys and a girl available. And there were other kittens there too, but they had already been
They already had
claimed.
homes.
Yeah, they just weren't ready to go to the homes yet. And they were really good breeders because they took really good care of these kittens. And there were a couple different litters mixed in because she like had a co-business with another lady or something. Anyway, they were telling us all about that. Some were sleeping, some were climbing around. It was just cuteness overload. And we were there it was before I had to go to work. And I think we were there for like an hour, and it just flew by because they're so cute.
We have Mosby. We bring him home. He's a part of our family. We have Valentine's in 2019, and we move forward. We're in a queen-size bed, and we get lucky from one of your friends
Yeah.
who is moving out of her place in Denver,
Mhm.
and she offered us her.
Sold her house, and she
Boom.
needed to get some furniture out pronto. Luckily, I was trying to manifest a California king-size bed, since this guy right here is a big guy. Plus, we have our cat right in the middle of us that doesn't want to sleep in his little bed. And we needed a big size bed. So, luckily, it was a California king-size bed and a couch. So, that worked out really well.
Although the queen that we had was pretty nice because we manifested a really cool headboard for it right before we got rid of it. So we had to get rid of an awesome headboard.
The headboard was pretty nice. Mosby was climbing up it in the middle of the night, which was super annoying.
I loved it because he's adorable up there.
And it was driving me nuts.
He was having a good time.
Spray bottle for anything that you don't want a cat to do works like a charm. All I have to do is hold up the spray bottle, and Mosby knows. But he doesn't do a lot of those things anymore that I used to have to do with the spray bottle. So
that's good. I rented a U-Haul and was able to go and get the king-size bed from Kim. Mm-hmm. And she also gave us this couch that we're sitting on right now. Mm-hmm. And by this time, we had already gone through a variety of couches. This apartment has seen a lot of couches.
We just are really picky about our couch, and it has to feel right. And we are kind of nesters. We like to feel cozy in our living room. So we've gone through probably
handful of couches.
And also we live on the 4th floor, so it's really difficult to get a couch in here because the doorways are sort of narrow. It's like an older building.
Right.
And the elevator is only a certain
When I first moved here,
width.
I had to let go of a couch because it couldn't fit.
And it was such a bummer because that couch would have been perfect in
That
here.
was the ideal
We
couch.
had a nice sized living room. It's just getting it in here.
Yeah.
And we asked if we could hike it up over the balcony, and they were like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah,
so
we used to do that a few years ago, but we don't do that anymore.
we don't do that anymore, so whatever. So we have...
So we had the option of getting a new couch with the king-size bed, and I thought, I don't want to move another couch, but damn, that really is a nice couch. So Kim really blessed us with a wonderful king-size bed where we can sleep close and cuddle, or we can kind of go to our side and have space. And I'm not shaking the whole bed.
That's another thing
for Tiffany.
It's like that memory foam or something. I don't remember exactly what the brand of the mattress is, but it's really good on the...
It's a really nice brand, but we couldn't find the tag for it.
We tried to find it.
The king-size bed was definitely a blessing in 2019 for us.
And you were sleeping better too.
Boom. That and the couch and a light and a few other things. So that was nice. And then you went and you did a spiritual seance type of thing at her home, a cleansing or something.
Yeah, well, some people do house clearings when they move into a place, or house blessings, and we did a house blessing, but it was basically a goodbye to her house, and we also wanted to extend it to the next person buying her house that would be living there, so that it would be nice for her. And so we did well wishes for her moving into that space. She was releasing all the things that she didn't want to take with her to her new place, and she was thinking about all the things that she wanted there. So we did a lot of that. We did a lot of saging and cleansing. I did a whole ceremony, and I also gave her a long Reiki session, and we created an altar. So we exchanged services basically with the bed and the couch. So that was really nice.
Right. And you had been doing that all throughout the year as well.
That's true. I was doing more readings, which was really nice. I took some business classes, which was helping me with Spot on Spirit.
You graduated from B school.
Yes, I graduated from B
You started and graduated from B school in 2019.
Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff from her friend Kim, and we both let go of a lot more stuff in our fully furnished plus apartment.
A lot. You made major headway.
So lots of...
It felt so good to release a lot of that.
And we're not at the goal line yet, but we are definitely seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And around January, February, March, April, May, we decided to extend our lease for the third year here. Third year? So we did 1, 2, 3. I think it's our third year. I think it's our third extension because the rent went up 100 and then the rent went up another 100.
And it was like crazy because we had the cat, the
Yeah.
pet deposit, but it was like their pet deposit here is insane. It's like ridiculous. And we knew because I did the breakdown list of what that would look like, but luckily we were both pretty secure with our jobs, so it helped at that point. We were both working a lot. And I was doing readings too, a lot more, which was really good for my soul, good for my spirit to be doing more of what I love.
You have a very high percentage of people leaving your readings and other services who were extremely happy with what they got out of that exchange. I will admit that 2019 has been a very wonderful blessing for you in that department and all the people that you've helped.
Yeah, that's when I started feeling more like myself again, when I started opening that back up to doing the readings again. I thought, with my full-time job, I wouldn't have the energy, but then once I did, it actually gave me energy.
Okay.
And I feel like, it was kind of a lot because I was doing the school and working, but it gave me like motivation because I was doing more of what I'm working towards what I love. So
Sweet.
yeah.
Do you want to talk about your just job in short?
Sure. I left my job. Is that
Okay.
what we want to talk about?
Or just in 2019, that's where you worked.
Yeah, I worked.
What
I was a
was?
concierge full time.
And you had been there for
3 years,
so
and it went by
this was the
pretty
third year.
fast.
2019 was their third year. You met a lot of the richest people in the world there. You worked for them.
It's true.
And
It's true.
you made a great relationship with a general, an actual general.
Yeah.
Right? One of your favorite people in the world. And just we were able to get blessed with some items that they shared when they were moving out. So
Yeah.
that was definitely amazing for all of
A
that.
lot of really amazing people that I was able to work with and for there. Really just an awesome group of people. The job itself was relatively easy, but then sometimes it could also be pretty demanding, especially trying to get like time off, and there was no time off. It was just no holidays off, it was a little bit like, for me, being an empath and being sort of progressive in my ideas, it was a little bit set back in this like kind of class system, hierarchy vibe that I didn't really resonate with, so that was a little bit difficult for me.
Okay. But later
Because I like
on,
to be authentic, and I was starting to feel inauthentic, and that's not good. So.
okay, so but you got a lot of beautiful things
Yes.
from that job. So that was the
And
2019 is
relationships
the last year that you worked as a concierge for that company and those homes.
Yes.
And when we extended our lease for the third year here in Colorado together, that's when we started playing with the idea that Hawaii could be somewhere we would want to move when this new lease was finished. So we were playing with that idea. All right, so we extend our lease and we contemplate the idea of could we live in Hawaii?
Yeah.
And then we get the opportunity of a lifetime.
We've been talking about Hawaii since we met. Even before that, for both of us, we both bonded over the fact that we both would someday want to live in Hawaii. So it was kind of already a daydream idea off in the distance for us. But then it really became this thing of, do we really want to do this? Do we want to sell all our stuff? Do we move all our stuff? We started really talking about it and bringing it into fruition. And then we said, what we really need to do is go visit there first. And then
get a feel for
it and then decide. And we had been talking about that even like a year before that, really. But we started talking about it more and more. And then we had this opportunity through my best friend. She had planned on going to Hawaii for a family vacation.
A year before.
Yeah. Because we
she...
worked together and we were talking about Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I remember because I was talking
was
about wanting
go
to
somewhere
live.
else.
They were planning on going to California, and I was like, man, I want to go to Hawaii. And she, in that moment, went, I want to go to Hawaii. And she switched all of her stuff to go to Hawaii. Right then and there, she started like changing it to Hawaii instead of California. And that was like a year ago, and I was like, yeah, man, that's awesome. Good for you. And then like a year later, they were like, we have an extra room. You guys just get your plane tickets and meet us there. So that's what we did.
So we were able to book plane tickets for Hawaii in 2019 around, was it June you said?
Mm-hmm.
So June 2019, we fly to Hawaii, and we do 3 stops. We stop in LAX, and then we stop in Seattle, and then we land in Hawaii. And this is no.
We had to do that
We
because
didn't have
we were getting a good
Mosby
deal.
at the time. We did have Mosby.
David and Kayla watched Mosby.
Boom. Good memory. Yeah, we had a babysitter for our kitten, thank God.
My brother and my niece.
Oh, yeah.
My niece loved him, and it was awesome. She kept sending us pictures, and they were cuddling, and it was awesome.
And she's normally allergic to cats.
Yes.
So this type of cat is lower end irritable for people who are allergic.
Mm-hmm. They're not technically hypoallergenic, but they have a different like underbelly or something. Their fur, I think, is what it is.
So we went to Hawaii, and we rented a Jeep. We needed a vehicle to rent, and somehow the guy fast talked me into renting a Jeep, and we loved the Jeep. It was such a serendipitous, beautiful accident.
Yeah.
And it was pretty amazing. We drove the Jeep from one side of the Big Island all the way to the other side of the Big Island, and we stayed there for a week. And right when we landed, I saw the security company that I work for here in Colorado was working at the airport.
It was crazy.
Was working all around the island. So if we
walked off the plane, and there were the first 2 people we see that aren't passengers on the plane. The first 2 people we see they're wearing hats that have John's security company on it, and we're just like, go ahead.
It felt like a really good sign to us, since we were going there kind of looking for signs, seeing if that's something that we wanted to do. And we stayed in an Airbnb with Tiffany's family for a week.
She's my best friend, one of my best friends. I call like all my friends my best friend, but she is my
nephew's mom.
My nephew's mom. She was married to my brother. They're still good friends and really awesome co-parents, and we stayed friends. And she's remarried, but he's cool too, and we stayed with them.
So we call them family.
Family.
So we stayed with family, Tiffany's family, while we were in the Big Island, and we had some great experiences. It was
Evan's birthday.
While we were there.
It was our dating anniversary. It was
there we go. There's June.
It was her wedding anniversary. So we were celebrating. It was it was pretty badass. I mean, it was really great.
So according to Facebook, Tiffany and I are boyfriend and girlfriend on June 7th.
Yeah.
That's we have a variety of dates of when we started, but June 7th is one of those. We're Facebook official on June 7th.
Yeah. Facebook
so
official.
on June 7th, 2019, that's a 2-year anniversary.
Yeah. But we were we'd known each
but
other
this most recent Christmas was our 4th Christmas together, which would be 3 years since we met in person on Christmas. So 3 years, but we say relationships 2 years.
I don't know.
Facebook official, like 2 to 3 years. In 2019.
Yeah.
So we have an amazing time in Hawaii.
Yeah, and it wasn't like it was what, 3 or 4 days?
Yeah, it went by pretty fast, for sure.
So,
and get home early so
yeah.
you can have the vacation from the vacation. Get the rest before you're going back to work. Because you were working really hard at your job, lots of hours, and you didn't want to be completely exhausted.
Yeah, and I hadn't had a vacation since those couple days in Glenwood. Like, I really didn't, that wasn't much, so.
Well, we had a really good time at the Seattle airport.
Yeah,
we enjoyed Seattle airport quite a bit.
We did not like Denver.
LAX was horrible.
LAX, yeah.
We almost took a nap on the ground there.
I thought I was going to die. I think I did just fall asleep on my luggage at one point. You had to tap me and tell me, like, we're boarding the plane, and I was so cracked out feeling.
And when we were in Hawaii, you were enjoying the rain like no other. Yeah. You were out there dancing in the rain with Evan on his birthday.
Botanic Gardens.
We saw a turtle while we were in Hawaii.
They had been there for a week, so they were already like super like hang loose, cool vibes. Like normally my friend has like, let's plan and let's do and let's go and da-da-da. That's her energy. She's like a high energy person. And she was like, hey, what's that? Cool. Like Hawaii just takes over.
You guys did yoga together?
We did yoga.
And we went to a farmer's market and we saw lots of jewelry wrapping. Lots of jewelry wrapping and lots of live music.
Basil fresh pressed juice that like was like super.
This gentleman gave us an amazing juice that was very healthy.
Delicious. Beaches.
You did a really cool video speaking on the Big Island with your Baywatch shirt. That was pretty cool.
That was right down the street from where we were staying.
We went to the zoo in Hawaii. We saw Sriracha and Taziki. That's an orange tiger and a white tiger. Mm-hmm. And the zoo was free for visitors, and it was really nice.
The air was amazing. The food was good.
We had good food, good fish and chips and variety. The fish was nice and fresh. We went snorkeling, or not snorkeling, but we went swimming in a little
that might have been my favorite.
coral reef.
The coral reef.
2019.
I can't remember the name of that beach park, but it was so awesome. I think that's when we
thought that we could do this.
Yeah, like we were in the ocean together, and it was so calm, and it was crystal clear, and all the little kids were playing, and
it was in Hilo.
It was just, I don't know, we were holding each other, and we were just like, this feels so right.
We went to the Pirates Cove.
Yeah, Coconut
Island.
That was my friend's favorite place. And it was really cool for kids because you guys were jumping off that big tower thing into the water.
And we saw a rainbow when we were leaving Hawaii. Mm-hmm. We were blessed to make our farewell with a beautiful rainbow.
And then we had a shit ton, and I'm not even kidding, like a shit ton of signs when we got back about Hawaii.
We saw a lot of Hawaii.
Nonstop. It was nonstop, and it was just confirmation. It was just like one after the other, and John and I both were like, this happened today, Hawaii, 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 Hawaii. And we were like, okay, like it's in the plans at some point, so.
Anything else from Hawaii that stands out in your mind?
We met, this was cool it was just, everything was so synchronistic. Like, he gave us his card, and then I sat down next to this guy, and we got into a conversation and he unwraps all these crystals and he's like, oh yeah, I do crystal wraps. And he worked for like an Airbnb in the mountains somewhere in
He's the one that told us about the farmer's
market. And he told us about the farmer's market. And that was such a good place for everybody. Like, everybody had a good time.
January, February, March, April, May, June. That's the first half of 2019. And then we move into
Do you want to talk about your job at all?
The second half. The first 8 months, I was for the majority part working at King Soopers, and I was struggling with the long hours of always standing on my feet. I started off with 40 hours with the 5 days a week, and I requested to go down to 4 days a week because the 5 days was really taking a toll on my back. It was really taking a toll on my legs, and it was taking a toll on my spirit. Mm-hmm. I was working at a grocery market near our home here, and a variety of the people that shop there, it's a high theft store. It's a lot of theft and a lot of people that I would say good night to, or good evening, good morning, and I would have a low percentage, less than half, that would respond to me. And I picked up a shift at another store about 8 miles from here, and 19 out of 20 people responded. It was a much better community, and I ended up transferring and taking a slight pay cut, but working in an area where it was a much better energy. So that was really good for me to do that for the longevity of this job.
And you had to act a little bit on faith because you were a little nervous if you spoke up for yourself and set these boundaries with your supervisor. Like, this is what I want. I don't want anything less than this. And you sent that, and you were a little nervous, but it was a good thing. It turned out to be a good thing that you did that for yourself.
Yeah, there was definitely times where I was sick to my stomach for speaking up for myself, and then not knowing how it was going to be received. And luckily, each time I was rewarded for speaking up for myself. So yeah, I had a few different positions. At one point, I was actually even had a car post, and I was sitting outside of a pharmacy. So 2 days a week I was sitting outside of a pharmacy, and the other 2 days I was working at the store. And the car post was pretty interesting. I had a crazy experience with one of the employees' ex-boyfriends coming and threatening her, and you know, I had some real awkward moments. Even at the stores, I had some real awkward moments that I had to deal with. So
it was scary. There were times where I was nervous of just be working in those environments, like the stuff that you would tell me, and then like if I didn't hear from you, I would start to get a little worried. Not that I wanted to like project that, but you were really good about checking in. So that one night when the dude came and you told me like part of it, and then I didn't hear from you for like 2 hours or something, and I was freaking out. Yeah,
ended up calling the police.
Yep. You were like, yeah, I think you were like, the police are here, and you like hung up or something crazy, and I was like, what? Do I need to call? And then you finally, I think you texted me or something and let me know what was going on, but that was pretty scary.
And also around this time, I was selling, well, this whole past few years, I've been selling a lot of stuff on Let Go. Mm-hmm. In addition to donating stuff to the thrift stores and the Salvation Army. Mm-hmm. And I sold my Michael Jordan card. I had about 27 Michael Jordan cards in a frame. And I sold that, and I ended up traveling quite a bit up northeast, about an hour and a half from here. And I came across the Wild Animal Sanctuary, and I took a lot of really great photographs at the Wild Animal Sanctuary. And we need to go back and have a day, now would be a good time in 2020 while we have the time to just take one of these days and go do it. Although it is pretty cold, so I don't know, but with bears and stuff, but I would definitely bring the binoculars this time because I didn't bring it. They have little binocular stations where you can look through, but it would be nice to have the binoculars on you the whole time. So if we went, I would bring the binoculars, and I would also pack a lunch, and we'd have a great time. But bears, tigers, wolves, lions, man, that was an awesome thing in 2019.
And my friend I used to work with, it was her aunt's place. She started it.
Oh yeah, so it's even a small world type of thing here.
Yeah.
And in 2019, is this the year that your brother got into a relationship, or was that 2018? Maybe 2018, end of 2018, maybe early 2019?
No, it was 2019 because he called me and first of all,
it actually grew pretty fast, right?
Yeah, like he said, hey, what level Reiki are you or something? And I was like, I'm a Reiki master. And he's like, oh, all of a sudden he was all interested. And then he's like, real quick, what's a chakra? And all these weird questions that usually he doesn't ask. And then it was because there was another lady she's a yoga instructor, and she's was a bartender where he was working. And it was pretty cool because my brother's been wanting a relationship for a while, and he's a good guy, and it was just really, really cool to see him find a really neat person. So they started dating. And
we were manifesting that on our end for him.
Yeah, we were like somebody cool. We
wanted somebody good for him.
Yeah, because
a good influence. And she's in many ways similar to you. Yeah. And you have a lot of good aspects and characteristics.
He told me that, and maybe it's just part of getting older, but he was like, this is kind of weird, but she kind of reminds me of you. Like, she does like inspiring videos, and she's all into yoga, and she does Reiki. And
she's a trainer in yoga, right?
Mm-hmm. She's an instructor.
Instructor. Okay.
Yeah, so she's very spiritual. She's beautiful and sweet, and she's just a cool chick. Like, really like her. And they're really crazy in love too. So it was kind of cool to see them with their total puppy love stuff. And she has a little boy. He has a little boy, and they're around the same age, and they get along. So
that's really good for your brother. And we got to meet her in person for the first time, and at an event where you did glow in the dark yoga with her.
Yeah.
We had dinner, and that was an experience in 2019. Remember that?
Yeah. When did we go to the
Brewhouse Mercury?
Barrel? Yeah, was that before or after?
Mercury Cafe.
Oh, that was after the Metaphysical Fair. Yeah. Yes, we did yoga, glow in the dark yoga. And I had already talked to her several times on the phone. They would call me on speakerphone, so I was kind of getting to know her that way. And then we went to, that was when we first met her.
And then July was right around the corner, and you watched fireworks, I believe, from work, and I think I watched fireworks from our patio with Mosby. That was kind of the 4th of July.
It was hailing. I remember that. I was like, whoa, I'm seeing hail and fireworks.
I saw a full double rainbow while I was at the warehouse doing the car post. That was pretty epic. We went and picked up a large cat tower for our cat at this point, or he was fully grown with 6 months.
Yeah.
He's getting big.
I was eating like a lot of margarita pizza.
In August of 2019, we went to go watch
Tedeschi
Trucks Band at Red Rocks, and it was sold out, and it was extremely crowded, and we were pretty down on our experience.
because I've been to Red Rocks so many times, and we even got there. We got there at a decent time, but there wasn't anywhere to sit. Not a single, not even on the side planters where you used to be able to hang out. Like, I guess with all the people moving in, it's just become so crowded, and it wasn't. I wanted to share that with John. I really wanted him to have the Red Rocks experience, and it was super disappointing, which was
And
sad.
we wanted to see the band that played that song.
Yeah.
That was one of our favorite songs.
The Midnight in Harlem is one of our.
We love that song.
That's one of our songs, I would say.
So
yeah, it was my phone alarm.
Yeah, that was
first moved.
That was a bummer, and we ended up writing them about that, and they ended up giving us tickets to another show, and we went to Amos Lee later on, and we absolutely loved it. Probably one of the best shows that we've ever been to in 2019.
It was
Amos Lee.
It surpassed all of our expectations. Like the seats were awesome, and we weren't just
we had the reserve seating this time.
We don't complain unless it's like a really big deal, and I'm telling you, we couldn't even. They're like, oh well, you gotta get here early. I'm like, no.
There was a lot of people that were complaining also.
Yeah, there were people that got their tickets a long time ago and got there way earlier than us, and they couldn't even find a spot. Like, it was way oversold. It was just a bad night. But Amos Lee, first of all, Amos Lee puts on a really, really good show.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, it was really great. That was a great show.
It's a great show. Probably one of the best shows I've ever been to in my life.
Real good there.
And I also had my first visit to Manitou Springs. Is that how you say it? Manitou Springs. And I purchased a golf chair from a thrift store for about $20. It was made up of golf clubs. I loved it. It really didn't have a place in our home, but it was such an amazing find. And somehow I was able to sell it for $100 to a company who makes furniture out of golf clubs and skis, and it was a place in Manitou Springs. So we went down there to Manitou Springs, and that was really enjoyable. Had a good meal, saw a hiking trail that we might do one day that's ridiculously high.
Oh yeah, we still need to do that.
You need to get the right hiking shoes for both of us if we do
Yeah,
that.
it's called the incline. That's what it's called.
That sounds like that might be it. And your sister came into town.
Yeah, she did.
We had dinner with your brother and your sister at your brother's work. That was.
She's a big Red Rocks person too, so she and my other sister had come into town, and a good family friend like the year before that. Gosh, it just seems like time flies, and you mix them all together all the times.
And I know that was a pretty awesome thing of your sister to give us tickets for me, you, your brother, and your brother's girlfriend to go see Brandi Carlile.
That was amazing.
In what is that area?
We did a lot of live music this year.
What is that area? That was a great show too.
That was freaking amazing.
What's that? Boulder?
Yeah, the Boulder Theater.
Boulder.
Super intimate venue.
We went to Boulder. So Brandi Carlile.
She came into town for like a night. We had dinner. Well, she was here like with some friends and going to some concerts and stuff, and then we were able to meet up at where my brother works downtown at a hotel, and we all had a nice dinner together. And then it was sometime after that she gave us the tickets to go to the Boulder Theater, and so we went with my brother and his girlfriend, just the four of us, and that was a really good time. All four of us had a blast. And Brandi Carlile is really supportive of women and upcoming artists, and so she will open, even though she's like the bee's knees now, but she's going around and opening for these performers to kind of get them heard, and it's a little bit more difficult.
I felt
So-
that her opening was good because I felt that whoever came after her seemed like the main event.
Yes, she did a really good job of.
But had a whole band and she was kind of by herself.
Yeah.
So that's the
That was super cool.
That other artist was awesome.
Yes.
We got love from when we went to the Amos Lee show at Red Rocks. We did a Periscope, and the woman who opened up for Amos Lee saw the Periscope broadcast we did. What was her name? Griffin? Patty Griffin or something?
Mm-hmm.
Is that her name?
Yeah.
Patty Griffin watched our Periscope broadcast. So that was neat to have the artist watch our video that we took. And then when we went to this show, the Brandy Carlisle show, the artist that followed Brandy Carlisle, I forget her name, but she also watched and shared the video that we took. So it was neat to have the artist appreciate our presence at their show in 2019.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It was really good year for music. And
also, a fun fact about 2019 is that is the year that we bought a booth. And we have a restaurant style booth in our apartment, and that has been one of my dreams for the longest time. So
yeah, we
appreciate you
cleared out
for
a lot of space, and then
allowing
we
that.
had a bunch of space open up, and then John went, "Can we put some booths in here?"
I had to beg for the booth. I begged for the booth, and
I think he got me when I was just like, fine. But it turned out to be really cool because we renovated them a bit, and we've got some modern
new tabletops from IKEA, and they look really good.
Yeah, and so we made that our dining area, and then we took the table and made it more like a desk area for me to do readings, which actually works out really well, and we got a desk.
Right. And with the recommendation from your sister, we went to
Rhino District.
the Rhino District and looked at a lot of great
Graffiti.
murals.
So back in the day,
Artwork.
like I've lived here since 2005. My brother grew up here, so my best friend and everybody, like whenever we're like old OGs in Denver, right? So we're kind of like when we hear people talk about these trendy spots, we kind of okay, it's like hipsterville. But so I resisted the Rhino, but my sister's super up and trendy and cool, so she came into town and she said, "Oh, you should check it out. It's really cool. You would love it, Tiffany. Like you would love it." And I was like, "Yeah, all right, fine." So we gave it a chance, and the graffiti was the best part. I think it was pretty cool, and they had really good cappuccino. The place I went to.
And then in 2019, Nate Diaz fights Anthony Pettis, and we go to the View House in Littleton. It's a restaurant, and we get the best booth in the building, and Nate Diaz wins that fight.
I started working at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts, a spiritual center, doing readings.
I believe it was in August.
Okay,
So,
around the same time.
So Nate Diaz wins that fight. It puts our heart through the...
It was really hard to watch.
It was hard to watch.
I mean, I'm sensitive anyway, but
we really appreciated that, and he appreciated the love that we
I was sending Reiki the whole time.
showed him. So that was pretty cool.
I was like, oh shit, I'm too sensitive for this.
And then when he wins the fight, he calls out Jorge Masvidal, which will set up a fight for him later in 2019, which is an epic battle for the BMF belt. Now we're in the last 4 months of the year, and my security company no longer works with the grocery market, and so I got transferred to an area near the airport for Southern Glazer's Wine and Spirit in a guard tower, and that was a really neat experience for me. It was early on the weekends with the 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. shift, 12-hour shifts, a long drive, but a lot of alone time and a lot of thinking. So I had that. we took a trip to, this is pretty epic in 2019,
Yeah.
to Frisco.
Yeah.
To Frisco
Frisco,
/ Breckenridge.
Breckenridge, that area. John had a post up there, and I found an Airbnb nearby.
Yeah, I was watching a variety of Rubicons from a Detroit manufacturer, and I was there for a week, and they paid my first time where they paid for the miles, the meals, and the room. So Tiffany, we booked a separate Airbnb for Tiffany and Mosby, which was nice.
We brought Mosby along.
Brought Mosby in the car. His nose was getting really wet.
There's an entire YouTube video on that vlog as well, because that was right around, it was right before your birthday, so I made like a whole travel vlog /
Nice. My
John.
birthday's September 30th.
Yep.
38 reasons why Tiffany was grateful for me, and that was one of the best birthday gifts that I've ever had in my life, and one of the best videos I've ever seen. Super creative with the concept, and that makes me want to rethink a lot of my concepts because I can definitely up my level. So I was impressed with Tiffany making that, recording it and editing it. Her skills have just gone through the roof in 2019. It's amazing.
It was really fun to make, and it was just really cool to explore a new area, and you were actually working pretty much the entire time. So
Right.
I
It
had
was
taken a couple days off work at that
and they were all
time.
12-hour shifts. It was like 7 days of 12-hour shifts. And I think it was the
but
most that I worked
I was-
in a week. It was 73 hours.
Yeah.
I remember working 73 hours or 72 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 5 days. I just say a week. And while we were up there, we were able to visit a fairy forest, and we were able to go visit a giant troll. And you made some amazing meals.
I went to the roadside peach stand, and they actually were selling like peach salsa and other produce there, and it was called Uncle John's actually, and I got a lot of fresh fruit and veggies, and then I also got fresh bread from the bakery, and I made bruschetta, and I made some good meals, and Mosby was adjusting.
We were living the life
Nice.
on social media.
Yeah.
But behind social media, I was dead tired because I was working my ass off.
And I was dead tired from working my ass off, and I got like a couple solid days. I felt like finally a couple solid days, but I was alone. It was really me by myself. Like, you weren't really, I mean, we would do things right before you would go to work, but so it's amazing. That just shows you like how social media, I mean, we really did have an awesome time, but it was also like a lot of hard work behind all that.
Right. As far as people on social media go, a majority of people are not going to know that I was working the busiest work week of my life, which is why it hurt when my sister chimed in on one of my images and said, "Do you even work?"
Yeah, you
it
guys
must
are
be
taking
nice.
trips all the time, or
do you even work? It must be nice. And it's crazy because I almost worked double the amount of hours of a full time, 73 hours. And so that one really, it hit close to home and it hurt. And that spawned some things. And then I ended up defriending some other people. And I went through kind of a venomous chapter of the last third of the 2019. And it was spawned from that on my birthday, leading into my birthday work trip. Yeah. So that was in 2019, in September, But we had a great time in Frisco while I was working there, and we made do with the time that we had a couple hours together each day, and we made the most of it. And then
you did a good job planning it out and finding good. You found really great stuff. And one thing that John, and I say this in that video, is he's so good at talking to people and locals and saying, where do we go? And we go where the locals tell us to go, and it's awesome.
Yeah, if you go to a restaurant, ask the server what the popular dishes are.
Yeah.
So we went there. Tiffany makes the freaking birthday of all birthday videos, one of the best gifts ever. I enjoy that. After that birthdays, that's when we did the Brandy Carlisle.
Lucy.
Lucy
Silvas?
Silva says that might be the other artist that was performing after Brandy Carlisle.
Yeah, Lucy Silvas.
Boom, nailed it.
She was showing, or she was performing.
She was the main
event.
the main event.
She was the main event. She was
after Brandy Carlisle.
Badass, and it really made me miss my sister. It was bittersweet because she looks like my sister, like she really does, and I'm like, oh my gosh! And then
that was an amazing gift from your sister to give us all the 4 tickets.
My sister loves Brandy Carlisle. She's her favorite, and I sent her videos, and she's like, I'm so jealous, but I'm so happy you're there. I'm like, oh, I wish you were here. So, but it was really great, and it was cool to spend with my brother and his girlfriend. So,
right.
And you.
And then get some love from the artist afterward.
Yeah.
And the music seemed like it was from a CD. Sometimes it sounds not as good in person.
The Boulder
audio is
Theater
amazing.
is known for their acoustics, so if you are ever in Boulder and you want to see a show, I highly recommend it if you're into music because the acoustics there are super great. So lots of stomping and clapping and interaction with. It's a standing room only, so it's very intimate, but it was great.
And you were working at a spiritual center now. You crossed over.
Well, I was still working. Yeah, I was working like both places. So.
Okay, so you started working at a. Do you want to speak about what that is?
So and it was kind of crazy too because that was right when I signed up to do the metaphysical fair. So I did the metaphysical fair in September.
Boom! That's a big thing in 2019.
That was huge for me.
Tiffany worked at a metaphysical fair among hundreds of, maybe like 100 psychics.
Yeah, and I've always gone to it.
And you were number what, 1?
I was number 4.
Oh, number 4 on they were all like lined up along the outside of the wall.
And I'm telling you, like, well, when I was in the Aspen program for psychic development back in 2014, our instructor was like, get into the fairs and do this. And I'm such an empath. I like doing readings one-on-one, in person, or small groups. And the metaphysical fairs, it's a lot of energy for me. And so I kind of resisted it for a long time. And I kept, one of my really good friends and my Reiki teacher said, you need to go do a fair, or you need to do a fair. And I was like, yeah. She kept sending me stuff year after year, like, oh, the booths are going on sale, get in there, and da-da-da. And I was like, yeah. And then finally we met for coffee, and she's like, I can't do it. Can you do it for me? And I was
That's a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah. And I did, and I'm so happy I did.
You filled in, you did about a dozen readings. You never really had an empty
there were like
seat.
20.
Yeah. Never had it. It was just you from the moment you got there for what was it, 8 hours, 10 hours? To the moment that you left, you were giving everybody a reading. They were signing up to have a reading with you an hour later, 2 hours later. So in 2 hours, boop, that's their reservation time. And everyone left really happy. And that was my first time trying CBD oil. There was a CBD oil stand.
John was just entertaining himself
I bought a little CBD oil.
And then
it was nice. It was
brother.
not. I don't need to get another one. Your brother came,
My
and your brother's girlfriend came.
Me and
I got a kitty cat oracle deck there, and the other company that you started doing readings for was also there. So it was definitely a success, and you were definitely a success. I would love to see you doing that all the time. I definitely think
yeah.
that you should do the next one.
Now that I've done
Tiffany,
it,
do the next one. Do
yeah.
them all.
Well, and I realize the energy, it's a little bit different for empaths when you're coming from that place of service. It energizes you. It's like
I was tired.
you're plugged
Tiffany was on
into
one.
the divinity of it, and it's like, I don't know where that energy came from, because normally I walk in there, I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm drained, as an empath, but this was a little different. It was really great and super
incredible.
super incredible, rewarding,
And then that
fun.
just led you down a spiral of doing a lot of readings for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then one day you made a new...
You tell the universe, I want to do readings, and then it just switches on. And I remember it being like that before, and then I kind of stopped, and then, so I'm glad
So
I
for
did that.
example, then we're at a metaphysical store just shopping for some cards or some precious stones, and a woman's looking for a psychic who can work her
Oh, yeah.
Halloween party.
I forgot about that.
And sure enough, Tiffany gets a gig while we're just out and about working for a woman for her Halloween party, and that was a few extra $100 in your pocket, and another dozen to 20 readings that you did at that party. So that was pretty crazy.
And then also doing readings at DYSG on Sundays, and then starting
Discover
on Wednesdays, Sundays, and
your
Wednesdays.
spiritual gifts.
Yeah.
DYSG.
It's an amazing place in
Spiritual Center.
here, and there's amazing people there, and workshops, and Violet, the owner, and her whole family, they're just awesome people, and it's a great community. And
So you started working there in
It's
2019. You go in, you have your own room. It's a different room each time. It's the dragon room, it's the mermaid room, it's the, I don't know how many other rooms you have.
yeah,
And then you bring a client in there and you give them a half hour or the hour reading, and you've been knocking it out of the park there. So that's pretty
it's
awesome.
really fun. And just being in the energy is great. Being around like-minded people, I've met a lot of friends, and that was my intention going from 2018 into 2019. And I just looked around one time and I saw all these amazing women surrounding me, and we're going out for tea every single week. John, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go, do yoga, or I'm gonna go out for tea, and he was just like, okay. And at a certain point, I was looking at my vision board, and I saw how I had wanted these friends, high vibe friends, good friends, and I just looked at it and I went, whoa, that happened. So
Sweet. October, November, December. Last 3 months, Nate Diaz loses the BMF fight to Jorge Masvidal. They stop it at the end of the third round.
I'm happy they stopped it.
That was hard for us to watch back at Viewhouse Littleton restaurant. So then later in the last 3 months of 2019, I work a week up in Georgetown.
Yes.
Which was really neat experience. Did some, I worked for the Rubicon company again, and
I left my job, my full-time job.
You left the full-time job and you were only
It was
solely on the readings.
Intuitive. I am just doing readings and Reiki, boom. So.
I met a woman at a soap shop who told me in a past life that I was healed by Jesus Christ, and we still need to go back so I can see what insight she has about you.
Yeah, I was like, that is so cool.
That was trippy.
Met
And Tiffany
met
said
somebody.
that in a past life that she saw something with me in Jesus, so that was really interesting.
Yeah, I remember that when I first started dating you, I kept picking up that intuitively you knew the real meaning.
And then we wanted to go to Kansas.
Well, let's talk about Georgetown a little bit, because I came up to visit
Boom.
you when you were working in Georgetown too.
All right. And
it was freezing and it was snowing and John was at a car post and I couldn't really be around him because of the security and all this. So I had to like dip in and out of shops, but because of the snow and it's a small town, all of them were closing and they close early in small town. So I found a tea shop and I had afternoon tea for as long as I possibly could and met this lady and talked her ear off. And she tried to sell me her tea shop.
she wanted Tiffany to take over the tea shop in Georgetown.
Yeah.
We played with that idea. Could we be the
do
tea
it?
shop owners? Could we live here in Georgetown and be the owners of this tea shop?
Yeah. And then I was like, I think I would feel a little isolated in a little snowy town like that. I mean, it's already cold enough here, but I like the sunshine and I just didn't want to. Well, anyway.
Yeah, it was a nice idea to play with.
It was nice to play with, yeah. And then
we had a nice
went to dinner.
Italian dinner.
Mm-hmm. And then we also did a lot of crystal shopping there. You got a lot of crystal stuff. You got started like kind of networking with people that also do jewelry wraps and things like that.
So then later on in the year, we make a trip to Kansas. We book an Airbnb at Kansas and we drive during the biggest snowstorm that I have seen since I have lived here in Colorado.
And the reason we wanted to go to Kansas is because my time opened up with work, and so did yours.
Mm-hmm.
And
this is true.
We wanted to do this back in the summer.
This is true.
We couldn't do it with work, so we ended up, let's just do it. And we thought it would be less snowy in Kansas, but we didn't anticipate the wind blowing, the blizzard shutting down the highways. And we wanted to go to Kansas originally because my mom passed in 2013 and we want to clear out her house and blah blah.
Tiffany wanted to pick up some of her
overdue.
mother's items that are in Kansas where her mom used to live. So we were going to go visit her mom's boyfriend and pick up some items that Tiffany wants to bring home.
Yeah.
So we make our way to Kansas. Airbnb is booked. And it's a snowstorm, and we're thinking, should we turn back? Should we still go? And in my mind, the more we move east, the more we will move away from the snow. And it was the complete opposite. We were driving into the storm, and we got stuck in the mud. And we were in the middle of nowhere, stuck in the mud for half a day. And we had to get towed out.
It was really scary.
And it was scary. And it was a bit of a waste of money and definitely a learning lesson. And that happened in 2019. So we never made it to Kansas. We ended up driving back home. And so Kansas is still on our to-do list as we move into 2020.
The good thing about Kansas is it put things into perspective. We're already two people that focus on gratitude and positivity, but it took our gratitude practice to a whole new level. We were so grateful to just be in our warm home. We were so grateful to come home to our life, our daily life, that we just the little things that you take for granted. Our bed, our warmth, our kitty cat, our clothes, our family, our friends. I mean, we really thought about like what would have happened if we would have gotten seriously hurt or didn't make it back. So at least I did. And then for Thanksgiving, it was right about that time, we did an abundance ritual with a bunch of friends for Thanksgiving. We got together and we decided to all go to Indian food and eat Indian food instead of turkey. And then we went over to a friend's house and she led us through an abundance ritual. And basically we started out with everything we're grateful for. and proclaiming our gratitude. And then we also wrote out everything we want to manifest, and we had lots of goodies. And the abundance ritual had a lot of ritual items with it. So it was like cinnamon and candlesticks and what else? Allspice and dragon's blood and blah blah blah. It's a little witchy.
I brought a security officer, and he was in for a shock of a night.
Yeah.
But he was a good
sport.
Good sport, and so was I. And we are appreciating the abundance coming in as we have received and will continue to receive moving into 2020. So that was nice that we did that in 2019. Definitely an experience with one of, or a variety of the other psychics that work at the DYSG with Tiffany.
Yes, that was probably the most palpable, because it was a lot of really super psychic ladies there, and we were all pulling cards, and so that might have been a lot for your coworker to take in at first, but he was really good sport. He was taking it.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Stride, and there was an equal balance of like men there too, which was kind of cool. Like it was like, you know, you and a couple other men there, so that was neat. And yeah, we had a great time. It was very nice. So that was Thanksgiving.
And then we move into Christmas, and we went to the Mile High Church right down the road, and we had a great candlelight service where one candle light started the passing of the torch and lit every candle in the building, and they all raised their candles together and lowered it and raised it, and it was just an ocean of candles and a beautiful service to close out our 2019.
Yeah, it was really special. And yeah, we had a really nice Christmas, and
our cat is
1 year old.
He had his birthday is December 3rd. He turned 1 year, and so it's the end of it. So he's a year in almost a month, almost 13 months old. We love him. Best investment of 2019 by far, for sure. Great addition to our family. Yes. And we are continuing to find the feng shui in our home. I am open to new job opportunities, maybe a second job, maybe a new job. Tiffany's open to new opportunities as well, maybe a new job, maybe a second job, figuring out how we want to move. Our lease will be over in about 5 months, and we'll have the option of signing on for our 4th year or moving to Hawaii. But it looks like we might do the 4th year and just focus much more on the game plan, but we are open to possibilities. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says
so much can happen.
Impossible.
As you can tell, so much happened in this past year, and we thought it was pretty steady. Like, for the most part, it was, pretty, a steady year.
Our 4th Christmas together.
Yeah.
Number 4. We've done some paintings, a lot of jewelry wrapping, a lot of oracle readings, a lot of cooking, a lot of juicing, a lot of video editing.
The beginning of the year, I was doing a lot of crock pot stuff.
It'd be nice to get into more crock pots. I purchased a new computer. I'm looking forward to upping my level of creativity. I have a GoPro. I'm looking forward to creating some videos with the GoPro. And
gosh, is there anything else we're missing or leaving out?
I'm sure there's quite a bit, but I think we've covered so much.
Yeah, we have.
All right. With that being said, it's almost 2020 in about 20 minutes. It's almost the end of a decade, the beginning of a decade.
And we have our confessions. confetti canyon.
We have our confetti canyon. We are partying here in
Partying
Colorado.
Up with our
At home.
at home in the warm.
Nice and safe and warm.
Yeah, we did get an invite, a couple invites.
We got a couple invites out, and we just want to stay in and re-energize. My energy's been pretty low with different places I've been working. So we are gonna see what is around the corner.
Come back around on my birthday though.
Lots of movies. We watched all of Parks and Rec, but that was last year, and then we got into Making It, which was like a part 2 of Parks and Rec in a way. Really enjoyed that show.
This Is Us was big.
Watching This Is Us in 2019.
We had already finished Downton Abbey, I think.
We watched Downton Abbey the movie in 2019.
Downton Abbey the movie.
And
some other good movies and stuff.
We saw Frozen 2. Let It Snow.
My niece and my nephew came over and hung out. That was nice. Good family time. Might want to incorporate some more of that, but yeah.
So, we love you. Thank you for
and each other.
Thank you for watching. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe. No need to share. You can just, this is for you.
Just for
boop, 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 boop. But follow us on the social medias.
Yes.
And
more inspiringly, intuitively led content and into our daily lives.
Booms. Boomskis.
Twin flamesies.
Twin flamesies. We are out, mofos.
We're out.
Goodbye. 2020s.